All right, hey, good afternoon again, traders. Hey, this is Big Al, and this is how I trade. What we're looking at right now, we're looking at Friday's trade on the E-mini Dow of the YM. And the reason I'm highlighting this is because I'll out this particular signal just based on where I've got this little white oval here on this particular hammer, and then followed up with this bullish bar that came all the way through is actually what got me entered into the price. This hammer right here gave me my initial buy signal, which was at 12,135. And again, as I've said before, I'm only looking for 10 ticks on my very first movement at 145. This way it gives me a little breathing room and I can manage the trade a little bit better. But what was important about this on Friday, that if I'm going to change and we're going to look over at the ES gives me the almost identical type signal. I get a nice little hammer here right after a big huge bar that comes down, and then I get a nice little handle here on the 1600 ticks charts for the ES, and then I get another great candle right here at the same time. This is a nice little candle. I came up here a little higher and got in here at 2,308. Let that bar come up over the high of this bar. Remember, we're always looking to either come a few ticks over the high or the low, depending on if we're buying or if we're selling. And then we also look at the wrong chart, I'm sorry. If we look at the Russell did not give a hammer indication. It came down with a big engulfing bar, then it had two inside bars, and then another big engulfing bar, and we used that bar to be able to get entered in our trade. But more than that, I actually used this hammer, confirmed by this hammer and the ES, and again, this is the first hammer in the Dow, the E-mini Dow, to actually go long. Man, I'm messing up today, but to go long actually on the Russell 2000 itself, the E-mini Russell, and got out here. We actually got in at 810 and we got out here at 815. So I just wanted to give a quick recap of what we did on Friday. We got in all four of the major E-mini futures contract based on the one signal initially started at the Dow, confirmed at the S&P E-mini, confirmed with the same little smaller hammer, not quite as good, but this also showed that we're going to get some strength in here with this other hammer. So once I got three confirming signals that the market was going higher, we gotta get rid of that again. I keep going to the wrong one, folks. That we went ahead and jumped in and did the same thing and bought here. It is a little bit to manage. Once I get in the actual entry points in, once I'm in and then I get my first target set up, then I can actually set my P stops. And once the first target has been hit, so once this first target has been hit here, it's easier for me now. I can simply manage, I can move up my P stops to a break-even point and let the market trade a little bit. In this particular case with the Dow, I did not get a whole lot of movement. We were in at 135. The first one was out at 45, and then the last one was out at 170. So there was just literally just a bit of there was a tighter range than I thought was going to happen in here. And that's how I traded on Friday, June the 2nd. Now if you stay with me, I'm going to just see if I can pull this over. Here we go. This is what I want to show right here. And here's my trade for this morning, and I'm only going to show this E-mini Dow trade this morning. I also did a Russell trade that turned out to be fairly successful, but the reason I'm showing this particular trade for Monday, today, June the 6th, is that once I'd moved all the stops, remember this is a beginning week, So this blue line represents the overnight open. This little gray line here represents the overnight high. This little gray bar here represents the overnight low. And this green, thick green bar, again, is the low for the past 10 days. So once the market had come down through here, you can see it gained support. It bounced off of it and came all the way back to the open. And then it trailed all the way back down this morning. And when it got into the second time zone between 10 and 10:30, I was looking, once it came through here, I said maybe it just get another leg to bounce. And as soon as it came down and hit the overnight low, I went ahead and placed a buy order above this congestion and got filled at 12,100 on this bar. And then literally got filled at 1022 and at 1026 actually got my first target here. And the market really didn't give me much room. This did not go anywhere this morning. I was hoping for a little bit more movement earlier. What happened instead is it still came down. I had plenty enough room in here that I actually would have been stopped out if I'd moved my stop up. But seeing how it was tight this morning and it's still trading under the overnight open and under the morning session open, I thought there might just still be a little weakness in here, so I pulled my stop up to break even. So I made 10 ticks here, but I made 0 ticks on this trade. And the reason that, again, that I actually went and got into this particular trade right here was after this congestion, was once this large engulfing bar here was created, this right here showed me support. This confirmed this right here. So earlier this morning at 7:46 and to 7:50 this morning, traders come back in there and bought the overnight low. So once again, I was counting on that. Looking at this representation of this bar, it looked like traders decided that they wanted to buy the overnight low again. And so I got in here. They just didn't take it very far on the first run. I may have played my stops a little bit tight in here, but hey, I got 10 ticks for the day, and that's better than losing 10 ticks. So hey, remember, this is Big Al, and this is how I trade. And you can also follow me. I've got the system up at Big Mike's Trading Forum. I've been a member there for a few days now, or I guess you could say for a few weeks, and I like it so far. It's kind of new to actually being active on these forums. So if you get an opportunity and you didn't come from Big Mike's to look at this, get a chance to go look at it. There might be something there for you. All right. Well, again, this is Big Al, and this is how I trade. Trade well. Oh, come back tomorrow. I'll have more.